History is full of names we recognize, but sometimes the most powerful stories belong to those who didn't always make the headlines. That's exactly what our next guest is set out to change.
Yeah, through a series of talks called Greatness Under Fire, he shines a light on unsung heroes of World War II, including Pearl Harbor hero Dorie Miller. And next weekend, he is bringing Miller's story to the forefront at a special program hosted by the Milford Museum. We are so pleased to introduce teacher and author Dante Brizill. Dante, thanks for being here this afternoon.
I'm glad to be here.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So before we get talking about the series, what inspired you to not only teach history, but to write about it?
Well, ever since I was a child, I had really great teachers all through elementary school, middle school, high school, and even college, and I wanted to do what they did. And I gravitated toward history probably in elementary school. Having two grandfathers who were veterans, one World War II, one Korean War veteran. So they had a big influence on my life growing up as a young man, and I wanted to teach history, and I wanted to expose with my writings over the past 8 years people that were not really recognized in the textbooks and the history books. And about 9 years ago, I was teaching a lesson on World War II, the Pearl Harbor attack, and I was showing a video on the attack on Pearl Harbor, and there was a segment on Dorie Miller, and a lot of the kids have never heard of him. I had heard about him in passing, and I said, you know, this guy needs more attention.
So how did the children respond to the lesser-known heroes?
They really were interested. You know, it was about 9 years ago. It was a world history class I was teaching, and when we looked at that clip together, I said, you know what, maybe, don't you think more people need to know about, you know, who this guy is? And they all agreed, and they were very encouraging. And I said, you know, I think I want to write about him. And they were like, go for it.
Yeah, and that's important, isn't it? For them to know, I mean, we all hear about the heroes, the more known heroes. Why do you think it's important for the lesser known heroes, for the younger generation to know about them?
Well, their stories are inspiring. These people did not grow up saying, I want to be a hero. What they did was they rose to the occasion when the time called for it. So I want kids to see, I want our young people to see that, you know, you can be a hero as well. You don't have to necessarily set out for that. You just have to step up to the moment when it requires it.
So now you have a program coming up on the 8th. Tell us
Correct.
a little bit about what folks can expect there.
So the Milford Museum is sponsoring a series called the American History Series, and it's in Milford, Delaware at the library, and I will be talking about Dorie Miller and about what he did, his life, his accomplishments, and all of those things.
What was it like preparing for this talk?
So I've done this before. I've never done this at the museum, but I have talked about him quite a bit. So I'm getting more and more comfortable with it, you know, because you know, I've done years of research on him, and I still do what I can to find out more information, and so it's exciting to speak to a different audience and to expose his life.
Pretty interesting. And you've learned a lot along the way, obviously.
Yes, correct.
And you're sharing that with everyone. So give us all of the details about the event that's coming up.
All right, so it's November the 8th, at the Milford Museum. It starts at 1 o'clock, and it's open to the public, and you can come out and you get a chance to hear me talk about him. You'll get a chance to purchase a copy of the book that I wrote about Dorie Miller, and just engage with me and talk to me about Dorie Miller and his life.
And again, it's at the Milford Public Library. Even though it's put on by the museum,
yes,
it's held at the library.
Public library, yes.
Yes. All right. Dante, thank you so much for coming in, and good luck with the talk.
Thanks for having me.
November 8th.
Great to be here.